This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good afternoon. This is Jim Copio, and I'm helping facilitate this session. And just to make sure you're on the correct one, this is Enterprise Service Management. Services are everywhere. So that's the name of the topic, and it's being sponsored by Vivit, both the North Carolina, South Carolina chapters, and the Tennessee Local Interest Group, and Micro Focus. So I hope you're safe and healthy. I know it's a pretty interesting environment the last 6 months. On the screen is myself, and I'm from Whitlock Infrastructure Solutions, and we're a 17-year-old platinum partner of Micro Focus, and I help kind of co-run the Carolinas in terms of the local interest group. Mark Ford is not on this call. He is the other co-leader of the Carolinas group, and he's actually stepping down soon. He's on the board of directors of Vivit, and he needs to really focus more on that. So we'll be certainly looking for a replacement. Anybody want to put their hand up? We'd be happy to chat about what that entails. So that's the two of us. Next slide. Moving on, I'm going to let Kate and Pamela take 30 seconds each and introduce themselves. Kate, you want to go first?
Wow, 30 seconds, a lot of time. All right. Hi, folks. My name is Kate Siemens. I am also with Whitlock, and I'm the Director of Enterprise Service Management for Whitlock. So I manage our contracts with other customers when they are looking to upgrade and go into SMAX or use Service Manager. So I work with a team of wonderful, really experienced developers. I've got a team of about 6 or 7. And they all work with our customers to give them value and make sure that their SMAX or Service Manager installation is the best it can be. Thank you very much, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Pamela Samore. I'm a solution architect here at Micro Focus, and my role mainly is to understand customer requirements and help them pick the solutions and help them have implementations that meet their needs. Thank you.
Perfect. Next slide, please. Okay, and as mentioned, this is a live session. It is recorded, and you're going to have an opportunity at your leisure to pull it back down and listen again or share it with a colleague. In terms of the actual capability, there's a slide deck and a Q&A that's going to be available too. So when you get an email tomorrow or sometime, you'll have the opportunity to pull down the slides of which you will see today that Kate's going to go through. Of course, there's a free lunch. I know everybody on this call has joined because they want the free lunch. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, there'll be instructions on how to grab the gift card at the end of the session. So it's just our way of doing a virtual when we rather do a face-to-face and actually have food in the room, but this is the best we can do. It's the new normal. Next slide, please. Okay. Yeah, and this just gives you some quick instructions on navigating if you're not familiar with the GoToMeeting panel. It's actually pretty simple. You can, if you wish, share your camera. There's a webcam and we can see you, but you don't have to. And then, of course, there's a dialog box for chat, etc. So if you have any questions, you can take yourself off mute and ask, or put something in the chat. But it's pretty intuitive, and it makes it interactive, as we talked about earlier. So next slide. Okay, so just for those who do not know, Vivit is the largest independent user group with the Micro Focus products exclusively in mind. And actually, it's beyond SMAX and Service Manager and the ESM tools. It's also testing tools and security tools, big data, and there's so many other areas from the especially HP legacy before the spin merge. So it is a very large global group that was born out of OVFI, Forum International, back in the days of OpenView software. So it has been around forever, 39,000 members. That is a true number. Not all of them are active, but they're all in the roles and jump on these kind of events and participate in so many different ways. Because it is not directly micro-focused, it is very unbiased, very all about advocacy and training and education and networking amongst each other. So it's if you want to learn more about how to leverage, and it's free. So the membership is free if you're not a member. Next slide, please. Okay, so we're going to really get right to the chase, and Kate's going to actually run the presentation for approximately 30 minutes. And as we're going along, you're going to have questions. Please stick them in the chat, and we will cover those together with Pamela and others towards the end. And then we'll do wrap up in the gift card. So Kate, let's run right into it.
Okay, will do. I'm going to stop sharing my webcam just because of bandwidth to make sure that I have enough bandwidth there. There we go. All right, so welcome everybody. Thank you for joining. Just a little bit more about my background. So I am a former customer of the Service Center tools. So I go way back, way back in the Wayback Machine. And after I was a customer for many years, I moved over to what was then HP, and I was a solution consultant with HP, and that's where Pamela and I worked together. So for many years, from HP to HPE to Micro Focus. And then a couple of years ago, I moved over to the consultant side. So I have seen now everything. So during this presentation, if you guys do have questions, please feel free to stop me, put your hand up, interrupt me. It's all good. We're all family here. So if you do have questions, please feel free to just shout them out. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So this statistic, this is from Capgemini, and they did a study, and when they were speaking to different CEOs, they asked, you know, what is important for your world? And the majority of the CEOs said, it's really looking at digital transformation and how can we be more competitive? And what we found out, or what Capgemini found out, is in these conversations is a lot of folks just don't even know where to begin. When you're talking about a digital transformation of your world, what do you do, right? So when we're looking at this, there's really a couple of areas that are important. And the very first piece in a digital transformation is what is going on with the back office. When we say services are everywhere, in the world that we live in now, and before this whole, you know, past 3-4 months that we've been in, but what we're seeing and what customers are experiencing, more and more groups within your company need to be, you know, more digitized. Basically, they need to have that portal so that your customers can get what they need. They need to have more automation. And this is really what our customers are demanding now. They're taking a look at what's going on, and, you know, it's not just IT. It is in so many different areas because our customers expect things to be there for them, right? That consumerization drives expectations. You know, folks are expecting that in their daily lives, it works the same as ordering from Amazon, or it works the same as Googling and finding the answers that they need. It's not just an IT thing. It really goes across every single aspect of the business. And another statistic from that Capgemini, they said that many of the COOs, it's I think they said 45%, they say that the primary objective for the operations is going to be taking that back office, so AR, HR, facility, all those people, and really making them the new front office, engaging them into making a better product for the customers. So it's shifting now to put them more into the forefront. And that makes us in IT more the provider of service, or the provider of the platform that all of these different areas can now take advantage of. So when we say services are not just for IT, again, it goes across each and every one of these areas. So I mentioned at the beginning where my former world was as a customer of the HP products, so Micro Focus products. So back then, I didn't realize it at the time, but I guess we were a little bit ahead of our time. But when I started out, I was a manager of a help desk, and we implemented Service Center. And I was also the tool owner. So you guys know, help desk usually owns that product or that workflow. And then as I got comfortable and we started expanding, I expanded my help desk solution, if you will, out to the customer service. So those customer facing help desks out there, right? The ones who talk to the customers. We were a retailer. So when a customer had a problem with a charge card or return or anything like that, that group also started using my Service Center instance. Then we also added on HR, we added on AR, we added on security. We were able to take this not only in the US, but we expanded out to our European divisions as well. So this is something that we talk about and never was really given a label until recently. And that's calling it really enterprise service management. Any questions so far? Or did anybody else have that same experience?
I did.
All right. So as we move on to my next slide, where'd my cursor go? So the challenge of a lot of these other divisions in your company is that their customers are demanding more. They want to have access. They want things faster. And most of these other divisions aren't really focused on the customer experience. They're kind of doing things the same way they always did. But the customers expect more. And that third bullet, processes or the process requests are off manual. You guys know this, it happens everywhere. It's so hard to find the right person. You're dialing around in your company, trying to find the right person to help you because everything is so manual and we're all so disconnected. Give you another experience on this. In this COVID world, my husband had a problem with his paycheck. And because nobody is at the office anymore, he's having a hard time trying to find somebody to answer his question because it's all, well, I'll email this person. Nope, they don't know. So I'm going to email this other person. Nope, they don't know. Because there is no centralized place for all of this information for these end users to actually access. So there's also a lack of standardization. Again, you folks probably see this in your world. There are a myriad of tools out there for taking calls, right? For transcribing calls that come in. You've got your help desk software. Somebody else might be running Jira. Somebody else might be running, a piece of paper, right? An Access database. Oh, how often have we seen that? But all of these processes, all of these, help desks that are out there, they're all doing the same thing. And what are they doing? They're trying to write down what's going on. They're trying to solve their customer's problem in the fastest way possible, or escalating it and getting it to the right group. It doesn't have to be IT versus everybody else. It's all the same thing. And this is where IT is really going to start stepping up and show your value to the business. Because, you're not only the service provider, you don't have the answers to everything, but because services are everywhere, we've done a better job. We're ahead of the curve, we being IT, when it comes to processes and getting things done, having some standards. So the solution for these different groups, enterprise service management. Enter enterprise service management. So leveraging the tools that you already have in place for your service desk, your ITSM solution, let's start leveraging that to the other business functions. Let's have that single point of entry, a single easy to use self-service end user portal where, if I'm over living in my cube or now you're working from home, there's one place that I can go to get anything that I need. I don't have to go, oh, okay, well, if I need something from facilities, I've got to go somewhere else and figure out their form somewhere else. Put it all into one place, be able to manage it, be able to provide it to your end users and get them the information that they need and solve their issues faster. As part of that, this fast response with machine learning and AI, built into the tools from Micro Focus, is the ability to have that machine learning and artificial intelligence so that your end users, when they go to that end user portal, they type in the question that they need in natural language, and it's going to provide them back answers, whether it's a knowledge article, whether it is a catalog offering, whatever they need to solve their issue. But they're getting it all in one place. And one of the keys of this, the workflow and task automation, is something that IT has been perfecting for years and years and years. You guys know you've got great processes. You know, taking a ticket from beginning to end, notifications, SLAs, all of that piece, we've already done that. We're ready to go. And then we can take that information and we can parse that out to the other lines of business very simply, because a ticket is a ticket is a ticket. It's easy enough to get it done, but we've already got that jump start. All right, this is a quick slide just looking at the difference between ITSM versus enterprise service management. And I took this information from Wikipedia, or whatever it's worth. So in the first column, really talks about ITSM. What is ITSM? There are two things you'll notice that I highlighted, and that's process and continual improvement. Those are some of the cornerstones of ITSM, because we're really good at process. We've got it down. We know how to move a ticket through its workflow. As I said before, we've got notifications. We have everything else set up so that it is a great process. And we're also looking at continual improvement. And how that compares to enterprise service management, pretty much ESM is just expanding it across your entire organization and not keeping this tool just in one place, just at the help desk, just at IT. Let's go ahead and expand that out to the different groups, because they're going to be able to get to stand up their processes, stand up their catalog items, whatever, a lot easier because you've already done it. You've taken all the hard work. IT knows it better than anybody else. So how you're going to do that is engaging in that self-service and chat. So self-service is huge, I know, for a lot of people. I would rather personally go out and Google something, or go look it up on the internet, or go to my end user portal and find what I need, rather than pick up the phone and call somebody. And there are a lot more people out there, and in the age of social media, that's where everybody wants to go now. They want to be able to be on their phone, be on their tablet, and get the information they need, rather than trying to find somebody who's going to give them the information. Now, you're still going to have people out there who are very happy with, I just want to call somebody, I don't want to deal with it, I just want to call one place and get my answer. And that's great. There's still people around to do that. You still got your help desk for that. These other teams, again, they still have people for that. But the majority of folks are trying to go more online, more self-solve, and then you always have your chat to back it up. I'm curious today, for the folks on the phone, who is actively using some sort of chat with your end users? Does anybody want to come off of mute and speak to that?
We're using Baumgart chat.
Oh, excellent. And who is this?
This is Tim Bowles at Newport News Shipbuilding.
Oh, awesome. Baumgart, good product. That's great to hear. And you have that integrated with your service desk tool?
It's not fully integrated, but there is a pass back from a service manager.
Okay.
Baumgart.
Great. Baby steps, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else doing some sort of chat? Slack or anything? All right. Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. So also part of your success, easy to use ticketing, making sure that the creation of a ticket is as fast as it possibly can be. you know, your mean time to value, all those good stats that you're racking up and you're reviewing as part of the help desk. You can now take that information and again apply it to some of these other teams across your enterprise. I'll skip down to knowledge management. Knowledge management, oh, that's just the poor knowledge management. A lot of folks don't utilize knowledge management. It's always like, yeah, you know, we want to do that. We want to have that knowledge out there. But it's a very difficult piece to not only stand up, but also maintain. So I always like to give a plug for knowledge management, and frankly, problem management is also one of my other favorites, because these two processes, I think, are not always appreciated in the larger world. So again, looking at taking the information that you have, extending it across your organization, providing knowledge out to those end users so they can self-solve, that's going to be huge. And those are going to be some really big wins for you and will really kind of move up your status. That's, you know, you're not just IT people, but you're actually looking at something that's going to be beneficial and useful for the entire organization. And then the last bullet point on there, analytics-driven change management. I think everybody does change management, mostly do a pretty good job at it, right? But bringing in the whole analytics piece as part of your change management to improve your ability to have that change applied and have it applied successfully every time, that's what your analytics is going to bring you. And also things that you can bring to other pieces of your enterprise. Any questions so far?
Good.
Okay, thank you much. Losing my cursor there. Okay, now this, I stole this from, from another presentation. This is from Research in Action, but I like to show it because it really talks about that maturity curve for service management, you know, for ITSM and for ESM. And I think most people are really out of the whole chaotic reactive piece or phases of this. I think the majority of folks are probably in the whole stable phase. You know, we're doing pretty well. We've got our CMDB out there. We're trying to utilize the ITIL guidelines that have been provided. We've got some asset management out there. And what I think is interesting on this, when you look at the percentages, for example, under chaotic, that 7% versus 11%, those are the changes from 2019 to 2018. So in 2018, 11% of the respondents were chaotic, and in 2019, it went down to 7%. Much like reactive, was 21, went down to 16. That's great. That means people are improving, they're moving through this life cycle or this maturity curve, and now most people are going to be in stable. Still got a little way to go when we want to be proactive and predictive. So you'll notice that some of the items that help you get there to proactive and predictive, things like full ESM, you've got your AI and you've got bots out there helping you solve their issues. You've got some hybrid cloud management that's out there. And of course, robotic process automation or RPA. Starting to hear that a lot more from different customers. So take a look at your processes, figure out where you are on this maturity curve, and then let's see what you need to do to move yourself into the proactive and then finally the predictive. All right, next 3 slides, again, I stole them. Full disclosure, I did give them credit down at the bottom from Research in Action. This is a paper that they did, some of the top market trends for 2020. I thought some of these were interesting. They're number one. Look, ITSM and ESM have become one. Really about joining together, about taking your, formerly known as help desk only tools and really branching that out across the organization. Number 3, that whole digital piece, driving the adoption, having the information out there for those end users that are trying to solve their issues, give them one place to go. And as I move to the next slide, this middle bullet, artificial intelligence, machine learning, these are really, really going to be key. So if you think about your world, trying to understand, if you're at a help desk, again, no matter who you are, you're at a help desk, you've got calls coming in. Why am I getting so many calls? What's going on in the organization that's causing all this? Looking to problem management. Again, why do I have so many incidents? How can I be more proactive about stopping this flood of calls that I get every Friday morning at 10 a.m. because a certain service is going down? And I know it's difficult in a lot of tools to get that done, but if you have smart analytics in there, you've got hot topic analytics as part of either Service Manager or SMAX, really it's going to make your job a whole lot easier. And the artificial intelligence piece, enabling the agents at the call center to solve their calls quickly and get on to the next one. And then artificial intelligence for your end users so that they can ask a question and get their issue solved without having to go to the help desk. And my last stolen slide, the employee and customer experience. That is really, really where we're trying to improve the experience of your end users, make them happier, get them what they need. That's going to make your job a lot easier. Okay. So now I'm going to move into the SMAX piece of this presentation. Do I have folks on the phone who currently use SMAX or are looking to use SMA X versus SMA Service Manager?
Yeah, this is Tim Bulls again from Newport News Shipbuilding. We are in the process of trying to transition from SMA to SMAX.
Oh, sweet. Good deal. What's your time frame for that? Okay.
Well, it was the end of the year. We're not going to make that. It took us a long time just to get stood up in a dev environment.
I understand that. I'm working with a customer right now, and they are service manager. We've just finished requirements gathering, and we're going to have them live by the end of the year. So I totally understand that challenge.
Is this the time to ask how many customers you brought over from SMA to SMAX?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So for Whitlock itself, we have, let's see, we have one that was a former Service Anywhere customer that we've moved into SMAX. We've got a second customer again that we're currently working with, Service Manager to SMAX. I've got another customer who is, oh gosh, they're Service Manager, but they're using that SRC end user portal, which, as we all know, is kind of done by the end of the year. So we're going to be working with them to stand up SMAX for them, and initially just move that end user portal. But phase 2, we'll be looking at moving everything over. Jim, who did I miss?
So I think we have 4 total to answer that question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And globally, there are quite a few as well.
Right.
Yeah, and that's Pamela. Pamela's with Microfocus. Do you have some examples, Pamela?
So not to mention any names, there's a, should I say, a multimedia company. They moved from Service Manager to SMAX, and they were able to get up and running in a very short period of time. What we're finding is that you have customers that would like to move some things like knowledge, and then you have those that make a clear cut and say, on this date, we're moving, where SMAX is coming up, and that's our go live, and that's it. And then you have those that want the hybrid as well. But there are quite a few out there. You won't be alone, Tim.
I was curious how many you guys have actually done. Thank you.
Yeah,
Sure.
thanks.
Thank you.
All right. So my next thought was to just go over some of the highlights of SMAX. If you maybe haven't seen it recently, or something that you're looking into, just as a little bit of background. So SMAX, so SMAX, that flavor, if you will, of service management, is currently release 2020. I'm sorry, not release. It is currently update in 2020-05. And there will be a new update coming 2020.08 that will be out next month. So that product is on a quarterly release. Oh, quarterly update. You see, I'm old school, man. Coming from Service Center days, I always want to say the wrong word, but new world, SMAX has different updates and not releases. So with some of the recent updates, like the 2020-05, leaps and bounds improvements in with asset management, I'll call it. So there are some pieces to that. Just kind of going through these slides. Our end user experience is huge, providing the ability for your end users to have an easy product to go through, an easy screen to go through to get what they need. That idle-based search at the very top, they don't have to drill down to the different tiles to get what they need. They can just type it in into the search box right there, type it in natural language, get what they need. That will then trigger MAX, our artificial intelligence, and it will start up some virtual chats for them. And if they need to, they can move over to a live chat with an agent at the call center. We've got the suggest idea piece. So again, in this world, everybody's social media, they want to Twitter, they want to Instagram, they want to ask questions, they want to put their 2 cents out there. So that's what the suggest ideas. Let's go ahead and get that information, track that information, potentially create new knowledge articles based on what your folks are asking about or what ideas they're suggesting. But with this, there is a native mobile app as well, so you can take a look at this self-service portal either on a PC or a tablet, or you can download the app from the app store of your choice and be able to access it through there. With this, again, you can have both request support items and request service items. So a service item would be, I need a new laptop. A support item would be, my laptop is broken. Knowledge articles that are available. Again, making that end user experience a whole lot better so that your end users can solve their questions or get the support that they need a lot faster. This is one of my favorite with the whole machine learning, hot topic analytics. This is an example of user questions that have been out there. So if I'm the knowledge manager, I'm going to take a look at the user questions that have come out using my hot topic analytics. Why or what questions are people asking? And then I can easily select one or more of these and create knowledge documents. Very powerful for your problem managers, your knowledge managers, even your first level supervisors to see what kind of incidents are coming in or what's going on. All right, codeless configuration, for those of you who have grown up in the old service center, service manager ways, you guys know, man, you can make that thing do anything. You have to go to 50 different places to get it done. But with codeless configuration, the ease to create a new app, the ease to create a new workflow is all there. A lot of drag and drop, walks you through it. And the key is that it makes sure that you are protected for the next update. So you're not going to kind of configure yourself into a corner and not be able to take the newest updates because it does protect you from all that with its codeless configuration. I'll also make a plug here for the marketplace, the ITOM marketplace. The ITOM marketplace has a number of different apps that customers and partners such as ourselves have created, and they're available to you. So once you have SMAX, you can go to the ITOM portal, the ITOM Marketplace, and take a look at any of the apps that are out there that might make your life a little bit easier. And you can download those apps for free and go ahead and utilize them. So we have 2 out there. I know we've got 2 more coming just from Whitlock, and I know a lot of our other partners are doing this as well. So to sum it up, when we're looking at the ESM experience, if you will, taking a look at making self-service easy to use, doing some automation out there. We didn't really touch on automation all that much, but whether it's automation within the tool for moving through the workflow, or if it's RPA or OO, those are 2 Micro Focus products to enhance automation within SMAX. Those are going to be available using artificial intelligence to get your end users or your agents information that they need. And then, of course, our quick time to value, because a lot of what you need is already out of the box. Now, I like to use this, the whole 80-20 rule. When you take a look at SMAX out of the box, it's going to provide you about 80% of what you need to get up and running. All you have to do is configure that last 20% for things that are very particular to your organization. And that goes again across IT or HR or any other areas. Right. And oh, come on, I went back too far. Sorry about that. I did want to also mention that with Forrester, we are a leader in the Forrester Wave. So this is the latest one that has been put out, and that's the 2019, but you'll see us in the leader category, and you can also look for more of that information on microfocus.com/SMAX. And we also have a list of different ways that you can get engaged, whether you look at the data sheets that are out there, or videos, white papers, etc. All this information is available on microfocus.com. Okay. That is, I think that's the end of my official presentation. So I'll put my camera back on. All right, Jim, back to you.
Sure, this is where we go into Q&A. We'll take new questions, but I do see that we have quite a few in the hopper. So it's going to be anybody who can answer it, but generally Pamela and Kate as appropriate. And by the way, the questions could be around ESM in general, or certainly the SMAX or SMA tools from Micro Focus. So whatever, and all the connection points into CMDBs and CMS systems. So take it as deep and as far and as wide as you would like. All right. So the first question is there a SMAX trial environment available for Micro Focus?
Yes, that is one of the great things that Micro Focus is providing, is the ability for you to go and request a tenant already built in SMAX. Pamela, do you have any additional information on that?
Yeah, so right on the Micro Focus page, you click on your link and you just complete your name and your company, and you get a link to access the solution. The trial is for 15 days, but some customers would say that, well, 15 days, but you'll find that that's more than enough. But if you need it extended, we can do that for you as well.
Cool, thank you. And here's some initial, I think I can translate, SACM, so Software Asset Configuration Management, I guess that is. Is that available in SMAX, SACM?
Yes, so as of 2020.05, that not even a module, those pieces that comprise SACM, the full life cycle of your assets, a lot of improvements were put into the 2020.05 updates. So there's a lot of information about license management, vendors, contracts, and then of course tracking all of the devices, looking at the financial piece of it. It's pretty comprehensive. It's not the first foray of SACM into SMAX, because there were some pieces in there before, but it's great improvements, And as we hear from customers who start using that, we are going to be able to put even more improvements into that.
Thank you, Kate.
Kate, to add to that, for customers that have Micro Focus's universal discovery solution, it is now a native service asset and configuration management solution. And what that means is you're no longer doing pushes from universal discovery to service manager or to SMAX. It's a federated capability. So whatever you're looking at in CMS or universal discovery is the same CI or asset that you're looking at in SMAX as well. And there's also software license management capability built in. So there's now a compliance dashboard as well in the latest release.
Thank you, Pamela. Awesome.
Hey, Jim, I see one that has come in. It is from, who is this from? Kunal said, and I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, I do apologize. It says, can the ITSM notifications be sent through text messages as well? So SMS is supported as far as notifications from the workflow. So thank you for that question. Sorry, just didn't want that one to get lost.
Okay, let's see. Bear with me. Can multiple service portals be created for one SMAX tenant?
Yes. So that is something that is common for different customers for different reasons. So to give you an example, again, the customer that I'm working with right now, they have their established, they need a portal for the folks who are part of their company, but they also need a portal for, they call them clients, right? So external customers. And maybe we don't want the same look and feel for those two groups. So we are able to create two different end user portals. They all go back to the same SMAX tenants so that you can offer a different look and feel to different lines of business, if you will.
Awesome. Thanks, Kate.
Thank you.
Well, here's a good one. Do approvers need to consume a license?
Oh, yeah. So get asked that one a whole lot. So if you're using that end user portal, the service portal, there is no license that's consumed, whether it's for your end users or in this case for approvers. So you got folks who are approvers, they don't need the full client, they don't need to go in there. They can utilize the end user portal or use it via your phone, the mobile one, and they can go ahead and approve, and there's no license implication there. So it really saves you if you're looking at the number of licenses that you need to consume. You don't have to overbuy because of the flexibility there.
Actually, I went backwards on my questions here. So the one before it, I should have put forth first. What type of licenses are available for SMAX?
Okay. Yeah, so with SMAX, you have the ability to use both named and concurrent licenses. So a named user would be somebody who is at their PC all day, every day. All they do is take calls in. Usually the help desk would be a great named users, administrators, great named users. And then your concurrent users, typically we're using anywhere from a 3-to-1 ratio to a 5-to-1 ratio for those licenses. So 3 people share a single license or 5 people share, usually for managers who are in there just, on occasion. So you'll have the ability to use both named and concurrent licenses. And with the new licensing structure, really you can buy a pool of licenses and then you can shift them between named and concurrent. So you have the ability to flex as to your needs. If you need more concurrent, you just flex from named to concurrent.
Cool. Yeah, SMAX, it comes on premise, but obviously SaaS model. So it has those 2 flavors. And I guess technically with containers, you can shift that around. Not sure you want to, but you can.
Yes, again, customer I'm working with, we have them, we're building right now in a SaaS tenant, and they are going to be moving to on-prem once we actually go live. But we're able to get them up and started, get the development work started so we make our end of the year dates, and then we'll move them to on-prem. And then eventually they'll move back to being SaaS. All about budgets, right, guys?
Sounds familiar. I think that might be it on the questions. Let me take a final look here. Again, anyone on the call can come off mute and verbally ask, or again, put it in the chat. Okay, that's all I have on the questions.
Okay.
So let's move on to wrap up in last slides. And there's a ton of events constantly happening with Vivit and with Micro Focus. So I like to at least let you know some short-term ones coming up soon, but you can certainly look on the Micro Focus website or Vivit website to see the entirety of events, but just a couple of really good ones coming up, July 23rd. Free registration, Micro Focus transforms service desks with smart analytics and machine learning. Well, that's today. Okay, you already checked that off the list. There's a Tech Talk, commercial IT coming up, shift left performance engineering, and then I see there's a say hi to future of AI ops, August 4. So, but be on the lookout. There's probably 5, 6, 7, 10 events a month going on somewhere, obviously all virtual. But the moment this coronavirus passes by one day, soon, hopefully, we'll have on-site events again too. So they'll all be listed.
Actually, Jim, that first one, sorry to interrupt you, that first one is actually next week.
Okay. Oh, it is? Okay. I forgot what day it is. You're right. Good luck. That's why I thought it was today. And this is just a list of examples only, but there's these Espresso talks. They're kind of short, sweet, powerful, quick episodes that you can jump on in real time. And they're quite, people like things that are quick and fast and easy. And the Espresso talks are all over the map, depending on your interest level. So beyond these kind of webinars, there's the Espresso chat. So just another way to get involved or learn more or just keep current as you move along. And so again, in a few days, you're going to get, it might be sooner, in a few days, you're going to get an email from Vivit, and it's going to have the recording link. It's going to have the slides. Also a short survey. We appreciate you filling that out. And then you'll have the ability to see the, where you can click and get the $25 dining card. What is that? Uber Eats? What is that specifically? I have no idea. I don't know.
Sorry about that. It's actually going to be Grubhub.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Grubhub?
Oh, Grubhub. Thank you, Carol.
Yes, thank you.
So that's coming your way. Enjoy that and have food delivered right to your house after the fact. So that's really kind of the wrap up. I took a lot of notes personally. I know some folks had some specific questions. I could certainly get back with you or anyone on this call. So we'll make that easy after the fact. And, let's stay in touch. Vivit's a pretty good organization. If you're looking to network with other customers to get ideas, maybe they're ahead of you in some areas, I'd be happy to kind of broker those relationships and kind of back out of the way. User to user is the most powerful part of Vivit. Kate, thank you for the great slides and the great insight. Pamela, for your additional value. And Carol, thank you, Micro Focus, for being a sponsor. So I'll give it another 30 seconds. Anybody else want to chime in or send a chat? Otherwise, I think we're going to be wrapping up early, which is always good.
And Jim, I'm going to mention one thing because another question came up that other people might have. In the follow-up email, there'll be an email, for instance, for Pamela, so that you guys can reach out directly to her, the SME from Micro Focus. So if you have any specific questions to your environment, etc., and Jim's email will be in there as well. So yeah, definitely please follow on with any kind of further conversations you want to have.
Yeah, well, you'll get everything you need. If you need to reach out after the fact to anyone at all, we'll make sure you can do that very easily after this call. So we don't want you to slow down progress. Want to give you the ammunition to be successful. Thanks for seeing that question, Terry. Okay. Well, we're going to do a wrap up. Thank you so much. Look for the emails and let's stay in touch. And Kate, thank you. And Pamela.
Thank you, folks. Appreciate everybody joining.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.